So I don't know. I just don't see how there's a lot of oomph in Bethenny's sales. I don't. And then Bethenny responded to that Frances Berwick interview and said, "Oh, I haven't retained any legal counsel. I'm not taking legal action against, Bravo, and my shows have nothing to do with it if that's all they have." The point of Frances Berwick saying that Bethenny pitched 3 shows is to basically tell everybody this woman, a month before she went on this rant, was trying to get with us. And we didn't pick up these shows for the varying reasons. We had something similar. We didn't think one would go anywhere. And I think the other one was the same way. So they're basically telling you that, this woman was shamelessly hawking her shit at such a toxic place 3 times, that if she feels this is so terrible, as of March of 2023, she was taking meetings with us. If it's so outrageous, boy, have things changed in a very short period of time. So, everybody knows that listens to this show how I feel about it. I've said it a million times. She's got some great points. I hope that there is, if it's not a union, it becomes a reality TV mandate that your likeness, you're owed a piece of, and that you can make residuals 110%.
I agree with you. Yeah, and Bethenny, there's this thing out there. I don't know if we haven't talked about it here. There's this thing out there that Bethenny was this hush behind the scenes that Bethenny was called for this article at Vanity Fair, just like everybody else, right? Like Jill's in the article, Leah, Ebony, like everyone was called. And I don't know if this is true. I really don't know if this is true, but that Bethenny was called for this article and talked to them and heard what they had to say, and then said to herself, well, Bethenny, skinny girl, darling, if Vanity Fair is coming out with this article to take down Bravo and Andy and Frances, how about you create the reality reckoning? So there is this argument that Bethenny got the call from Vanity Fair, just like Ebony and Leah and everyone that's in the article, and listened, and then hung up and said, I am starting a reality reckoning. Fuck you, Vanity Fair, because your article ain't coming out for 3 weeks. And I mean, look, it's right after Bethenny's reckoning. There is this narrative now that Bethenny stole the reality reckoning from Vanity Fair and has coined it on her own to get behind this movement. What do you think of that, Sarah? Don't hold back, Sarah, just because the people hate you.
Me. Nothing. You guys know how I feel. Nothing would shock me. My good friend, she's been on my podcast, Jessica Kirsten. She's one of the kindest female comics in the business, opened for Bethenny for her talk show and said Bethenny was an absolute biatch, never cared to even know her, treated everybody like shit and acted like an asshole. Am I shocked that Bethenny would steal a concept? No, I'm not. I'm sorry. Our business is full of, it's why people get agents. It's why you don't pitch your ideas cold to a production company. They will steal your idea 110%, and they will never give you credit, and they will never pay you. Why would they want to pay one more person when they could make bank? Doesn't shock me.
I agree with you. On all of this. Yeah, I agree with you. So look, I also just think it's she says she hasn't hired lawyers or whatever, even though Garagos is speaking out and he was on my show. But I just think, like, if you think about it, and everyone's going to roll their eyes and say it's just because you're really good friends with Ebony and blah, blah, blah. But I'm no Leah fan. I've been honest about that. But I think it's funny that the people on the front line that are really making the change, like if you think about it, this is maybe why everyone's going to come for her, because they all like the woman on their TV. But Ebony has made change. Like Ramona Ramona got herself in this situation. Let's be very honest.
Sure.
No one caused this to happen. No one said to Ramona, go and use these racist words. Ramona did this to herself. But the change to me has been impetus. The impetus for like a lot of this change is, there's a reaction. There's something has happened to Ramona that has involved Ebony. If Leah sues, that's Leah. So I think the people like on the front line, even Nene, I'll give Nene credit. Like the people that are putting themselves in harm's way, so to speak, it's not really Bethenny. It's just a lot of noise from Bethenny. Like this thing with Ramona, that's Ebony. Leah seems like she's going to sue. Nene sued. Like, you know, and that is Nene's point. Like Nene's point is I needed a white woman to get my voice heard. Like that's pretty much what Nene said. I believe she said on Bethany's podcast, but which I don't agree with that. But like, my point is like, it's a lot of hot air from Bethenny and a lot of other people are actually doing the action. Bethany's like all talk and no action. And the real reckoning is happening by all these other Bravo celebrities.
Yeah.
Manzo. I mean, Manzo and Brandy. I told you, I think there's stuff going on with Manzo.
What'd you make though of Phaedra Parks? You know, she was recently interviewed and she says that nothing happened between Brandy and Caroline. What do you think?
I mean, I think she even doubled down and said something like it seemed like a hot date or something like that. But yes, she did say that. Well, here we are. I mean, look, those two bonded ever since Phaedra said that woman in there can be your mother about Dorinda. And Brandy was on Girls Trip 2. And Brandy said, that woman is like 2 years older than me. And Phaedra and Brandy fell to the floor laughing and bonded over this. It was a very kind of a funny moment because Phaedra was so serious when she's like, that woman could be your mother. And Brandy's like, she's literally like 4 years older than me. It's kind of funny. God. I mean, Brandy's look, I don't know this. I don't know. I'm not sure I believe everything that Caroline's claimed. Look, I believe that a situation can happen. And look, inappropriate touching and forcing yourself on some, but I do believe there's gray areas. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, Phaedra's quote is, quote, it was a Harlequin romance. Love was winning, she told Us Weekly. I'm excited that you all will get to see it because you need to see it for yourself because it's definitely been way exaggerated. Well, some fans have theorized that Bravo plans to scrap the entire season. Phaedra doesn't think that's the case. Quote, hopefully we will see it at the top of the year, she said. Andy Cohen sent a similar message during his Ask Andy panel at BravoCon November 3rd. I also feel like he backtracked a bit. But to me, I kind of am beginning to think, was this like a lesbian hookup that, like, to her point, they had some chemistry, they did hook up, and then maybe Carolyn Manzo was like, oh, fuck, I'm like married, I'm a grandmother, like, I can't be doing this, and was like, I'm out of here.
I mean, that's possible. That's possible, yeah.
Phaedra said she was sober. I mean, witnessing this, you know, and they were like dipping in the lady pond, which we know obviously Brandy has done numerous times. So, you know, I mean, like to me, I feel like this is a case of Carolyn's embarrassed and is trying to get these scenes not to air, but it sounds like this is moving forward.
Moving forward, what? The show?
Like it's going to air. I mean, I'm sort of like,
I would love it to listen. I'm not saying like when I said Melissa Gorga will 100% be fired. I'm not saying we will 100% not see Girls Trip, but you know how I feel about this. I said in the beginning, I do think Andy's statements are so conflictory. I don't necessarily believe that you know, that we're ever going to see this. I think this is I just think this is a strange gray area.
I'm starting to think, I don't know. I'm just starting to think that
starting to be team Brandy on this.
Well,